another WW weigh-in, plus my product review. Today on Meema Mc Living Healthy. Stay tuned. Hello. Like I said earlier, today's topic is another WW weigh-in plus my product review. Today I plan on going a little bit differently than what I normally do toward my product, because this is not a food, it's an actual product that I use every day, or at least every day that I cook. So I hope you'll stick around to see what it is. First of all, we're going to do my weigh-in for this week. I will start off by saying, I'll sort of give it away, because I believe this week I came as close to maintenance as I possibly can. And no, I didn't weigh the exact same amount as I did last week, but I'll go back 1 week and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. 2 Thursdays ago, I weighed in at 116.4. Last Thursday, I weighed in at 117.4. Now, as the week progressed this week, I continued to weigh in on Monday morning. It's like I told you last week, I'm not going to give you the amount that I weigh on Monday mornings, because it's not an actual weight gain or loss. It's just a gauge that I use to know if I need to back away or add a little bit more. So when I got on the scale Monday morning, I was up a little bit, as I normally am on Mondays. You see, when Papa is at home on the weekends, we normally go out to eat, not once, but twice. And so I find myself up most of those weekends because of the salt intake. When he's not home, I usually lose weight for that weekend because I'm not going out to eat, and so I have to bump up my consumption for the last 3 days. Well, this week I backed away just a little, not much, but just a little, ate a few more vegetables, and when I got on the scale today, I weighed in at 116.4. So I feel like that's a win for me this week, because 2 weeks ago today, I weighed exactly the same amount. I went up a pound in between the 2 weeks ago and today, but that's all right. That is what I have finally come to understand is maintenance for me. That I will weigh a certain amount, I'll either gain or lose up to a pound, and then the next week, hopefully, I'll lose or gain that same pound back down. And that's what I did this week. So from last Thursday, I'm down a pound. But from 2 weeks ago, I weigh exactly the same. Now, let's get on to what my product review is for this week. Okay, let's get on to the product review. Now, like I said earlier, it isn't food this week. It's an actual product that I use every day that I cook. And I have several pieces to it. They're a little bulky, so bear with me if this takes a little bit more time to show you. The good thing is I can edit out all the in-between stuff if I need to. I've got to go back, though, to 2014 when I started Weight Watchers. Papa and I were trying our best to cook better foods, foods that were more healthy for us, that had less fat, that just were good for us. And at the time, I used a cookware set called Cook's Essential that I had gotten from QVC. Had probably been using it for at least 15 years. It was not only non-stick, but it was scratch resistant, so I really liked it. After about a year on Weight Watchers, I realized, because we were going by a lot of the Weight Watchers recipes or recipes that I found from other websites that talked about low fat, I had basically ruined my two favorite skillets, because each recipe, or most of the time, the recipes called for cooking spray. And after using cooking spray on my 10-inch and my chicken fryer skillets, there was a coating on both of them that I could not get off. So, needless to say, I was not happy. I had had that cookware for so long that they didn't make that kind of cookware anymore. So, I was going to have to find something else. And luckily for me, around this time, it was probably in 2016 that I began to see this product being advertised on QVC. And it was called Copper Chef. Now, one thing that intrigued me about it is it was not just a regular non-stick cookware, but it also, you could use it on induction cooking. And I had been thinking about converting my stove to a induction stove. I didn't, but I had been thinking about it. And whatever kind of stove you had, it would work on it. And so my first piece that I got is this piece right here. It is like a Dutch oven. It is probably, if I had to guess, it's 4 quarts. Might be 5, but I think it's 4 quarts. And it came with a little steam basket and a little thing where you could raise your meat or whatever you were cooking off the bottom of the pan. And it also came with a lid. Now, I rarely use the steamer or the little thing that picks the meat up off the bottom, but I do use the pan, still use it quite often, as a Dutch oven, plus the lid. And it is very easy to clean. I do baby it. I'm not going to lie to you. These pans I do not put in the dishwasher. I hand wash these, and I've not been sorry that I've done that. I also do not use cooking spray on them. During this time, I also found the Evo sprayer, which I put my olive oil in it, give it 3 squirts, and that's only 1 teaspoon of olive oil. And that's what I began to use. It does not build up on these nonstick pans, and I've been very happy with that. That's a whole nother week, though, that I'll go into that. But this was the first, what I call the Dutch oven, was the first piece that I bought. And I bought it through QVC. Okay, here's the next thing I bought. Because Papa and I are empty nesters, we don't need the size of skillets every day that a family of 4 would need, or whatever we always had when our kids were growing up. So this was the second piece that I bought. It's an 8-inch skillet. It is perfect for frying up a couple of eggs or scrambling a couple of eggs. My little Kodiak pancakes fit in here perfectly. I make omelets, and it's just a perfect size for that. Perfect size for sauteing a little bit of chicken. Once again, now with all of these, I do not wash them in the dishwasher. And that might be negative for y'all, but to me, it's worth it to keep the pans as pristine as what they are. Because I've had these pans, especially that first one I showed you, I've had it probably at least 6 years, and you can't even hardly tell it, because I do take care of them. But they're Copper Chef. Now I'm going to show you a couple of the others. I didn't bring all of mine in here. This is the 10-inch skillet. I barely put just a little bit of olive oil in it, and I can cook up the leanest ground turkey or leanest chicken that there is and not worry about it sticking. And then here we have a 12-inch skillet. Now I did not buy these together as a set. I bought each thing, the closest thing to a set was that first thing I showed you. Each one of these, I began to notice that they were being sold at Walmart. And from the small 8-inch, which I believe was $18 or $19, to that largest pan I just showed you, was probably about $24. Now, had I bought the whole set, I possibly would have saved money, but that's just not the way that it worked out. I bought them piecemeal. Now, these 3 skillets that I showed you did not come with lids, but most skillets don't. But then I found this, well, I've got 2 others that I didn't bring in here. One is almost like a little griddle, a griddle pan, and then the other is a larger, it's not a wok size, but I use it like a wok because it's probably closer to 14 inches in diameter, and so it's big enough to where I can use it for a wok, or if we have guest over and I need to prepare a lot more meat or a lot more sauteing of my goulash or whatever I'm cooking, then I have that pan to cook in, and it was probably around $25. And then this is the one that I got, I believe I've had this about 1.5 years, and it's the only saute pan that I have. It is a 2.5 quart saute pan, and it did come with a lid, so I have a lid with it, and then 2.5 quarts. I use it every week, but I don't use it every time I cook. But I've found that it's great for smaller amounts of meat when I don't want to get the skillets out, and especially if I'm going to need a lid. If I'm steaming and want it to steam, then I'll use that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's product review. I thoroughly like all of Copper Chef's products. I think you can still get them online, like at Amazon. I know you can still get some of them at Walmart, and they're still pretty reasonably priced. You know, over the years, I've had all different price ranges of cookware. And other than the Cook's Essential, which you cannot find anymore, this is my favorite cookware set, even though I didn't buy it as a set. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.